Take shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit ricey. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain, I just wanna be greatness.
Oh baby, gloves off! Shadya, gloves off! I see you!
Okay, we got sound. I seriously hope we're in focus.
Yeah.
Or I'm
Yeah,
in
we in
focus.
focus.
I can speak in singular this time. Yeah. Clearly somebody's missing from the... I pray I'm in focus, guys. If I'm not in focus, please forgive me, okay?
Yeah.
I'm a
focus.
one-man band at this point in time, okay? Mr. Nivek in this beep couldn't make it because he had laundry to do. He's a bachelor. Nobody does his laundry for him. He has to do his own laundry. So, yeah, he couldn't be here today. And clearly, as you can see from the montage and the intro, we are at the Burnouts at Borrowdale Racecourse, hosted by Selekta Base. So, as you can tell from the background, a lot of commotion is going on. I encourage a lot of you, all of you, to come at one of these events, especially when they're hosted by Selekta Base. They're epic. Unfortunately, it was a Sunday today, and Mr. Nivek, like I said, he had stuff like laundry to do and blah, blah, blah. But I was like, no, we cannot deprive our viewers of an episode. So, about one ticket later, yeah, I had an incident with the police. I failed to stop at a stop sign, and I was fined a good $30 US for that. Shout out to ZRP. Yeah, it's painful, but you're doing your job. I'm not gonna hate you for that. After that, we got here. We couldn't get to because if you got here before 1 p.m., it was going to be $5 to enter. But after 1 p.m., it's $10. And as you can see, I've got the white tag, meaning I had to pay the full $10 because of ZRP. They delayed me. When we got out the house, I was about 20 minutes late, and I failed to stop at a stop sign, and it was more than 20 minutes late by the time I got here. And also, as you can see, I'm using a different phone today, if you notice, because once I got in, so at these events, they've got a very, very strict rule. Once you get in, you're not allowed to get in and come back. Because I guess people were getting in, buying the $5 tickets, getting out, giving other people, and those people will come back in. So they're like, it's only one entry. If you get in, you can't get out. So once I got in with the missus and my daughter and whatnot, I realized I forgot my phone, unfortunately. And that's the phone I usually use to record, yeah? The lady at security would not let me through. She was rather a bit too excited about saying no. I mean, I get it. Some people crook the system, so she has to be strict. But she seemed just a little bit too militant. She seemed a little bit too happy to deny. Because I was telling her, hey, look, I'm part of media. I forgot my phone. I need my phone for me to capture proper audio. Hey, the woman would not take it. This is business. I am not going to allow you to go out and come. I'm like, but it's me. I'm going to get out. You're going to see me. I'm going to come back in with my phone. I left my... She would not take it. And she was rather rude. So screw her for that. Although she was to be honest, doing her job. Anyway, the burnouts were epic, as you can see. Cars are popping their tires. There's smoke everywhere from the montage that you're probably going to see after this. So I'm going to keep this very short. Today's episode is going to be very limited in terms of me being on screen. There's going to be a lot of footage from the event. The event was very, very exciting. We had a lot of fun. There was a lot of things for couples to do. You know, me and the missus, we enjoyed ourselves. We're enjoying ourselves currently. I mean, our daughter even had a playground to play by. You know, there were lots of events for daughters, for kids to play around in. Unlike the Castle Bride, where they do not cater for kids at all. Dear Castle, please address that, okay? I get it. A lot of people will be drunk. They'll be doing a lot of dumb stuff. But, you know, you can have a section for kids with the jumping castles and stuff. Kids will be distracted. They will not see all the women twerking and doing all sorts of obscene things because they'll be confined. Because some of us, you know, during the weekends, we won't have somebody to mind our kid. You know, I'm getting a little bit too personal. I'm not supposed to take too much time recording this. Are we in focus?
Yeah. Are we in
Okay,
focus?
we still are in focus. Okay, cool. So, I'm not going to take too much of your time, guys. So, last week we were talking about Lupita Nyongo, and she left her husband. I think it was her boyfriend. She left her guy, and because he cheated, which is wrong. Cheating is wrong. I'm not going to justify it in any way, shape, or form. It's wrong. But obviously, Lupita had her story. I wish we could hear the other guy's story as well. But that's a story for another day. But anyway, why I'm talking about this is because it was a follow-up. Shadaya wrote a tweet. Basically, the long and short of it was, it's a bit delusional for a woman over 40 to leave a man because he cheated, expecting to get a man who's going to be better, because no high value man would go after a woman who's over 40. Please take note of the key words, high value man. And then he also gave examples of some of the ladies in South Africa who left their husbands because they cheated. I think it was, what's his name? Black Coffee's wife. She left him because apparently he did some stuff. And now she's a side chick to some other dude. So basically, I think the message was, because women are valued by their age and fertility, and men are valued by their finances and their ability to provide, the older you are as a woman, the lower you are valued on the market. This is what he was conveying. This is the message that he was conveying. Do I agree with it? I'm not going to say at this particular point in time, because that's not the point. The point is, after he wrote a very lengthy tweet, he was retweeted by none other than the top G, Andrew Tate. And he called him a smart guy, and he said it was true. And Shadaya was just starstruck. He was retweeted by his mentor, because clearly Andrew Tate is Shadaya's mentor. Now, what does this say? Well, basically, a lot of people are going to argue about this, and a lot of people are going to argue on the basis that it was said by Andrew Tate and it was said by Shadaya. But have you ever stopped to think, do high-value men consider a woman over 40 to spend the rest of their lives with? Especially a woman with kids. It's a question. I'm not saying they do or they don't. It's a question. It's something that you guys are supposed to do your research on. I'm just going to give you homework at this point in time, because I don't have the other guy to argue with. Okay? But Shadaya was retweeted by Andrew Tate, and barely anyone spoke about it. But truth be told, it happened. Whether people like it or not, hate it or love it, hate him or love him, he was retweeted by Andrew Tate, which is epic for somebody like Shadaya. He's been retweeted by a lot of celebrities. we're talking Halle Berry, we're talking Serena Williams' boyfriend, we're talking Snoop Dogg, we're talking all sorts of celebrities have actually retweeted Shadaya, which is probably the reason why he has the number of followers that he has. So as much as we may hate Shadaya and Andrew Tate, or you may hate Shadaya and Andrew Tate, you have to do your research and find out why is it exactly that they keep getting retweeted. Why is it that they've got so many followers? It's because a lot of guys actually agree with them. A lot of guys actually feel like Shadaya and Andrew Tate speak the truth that men cannot speak without being vilified and being called misogynist and all sorts of things. Yeah? I mean, I'm just here to tell you the news. I'm not here to aggravate anything. If you're aggravated, it's not my fault. Put it in park. And also, probably, I don't care. Sorry. Anyway, moving on. We're moving on now to data charges. Recently, a service provider by the name of Econets in Zimbabwe, they raised their tariffs by our local currency, which is RTGS, by 100%. 100%. So just to give you a bit of context, right now 50 gigs of data is going for about 1 million something RTGS, which translates to something like 160 something to 170 US dollars for 50 gigabytes of data, which is absolutely ridiculous. And truth be told, this really puts a stain or a strain on content creators such as us, Gloves Off, because we have to upload these videos online, and for that to happen we need to have data. They didn't raise their prices on USD, on the USD front. It's still the same, which is cool, and I took advantage of that, and I bought my data for the month to cover for this month, so that, you know, Gloves Off does not starve its viewers of content. Yeah, but what does this mean for content creators? Now, some people are saying that Econet is forced to charge these high prices because of the economy. But I'd like to counter that by saying there are countries that are in the middle of a war that don't charge this much. Do you get what I'm saying? Econet prices are just ridiculous and they cannot be justified. In all honesty, as a content creator, I'm actually very disappointed because it has quite dire effects in the short term, but it has even more severe effects in the long term. Because just think of that child who needs internet access to learn what is happening in and around the world. They're not going to be able to do that. They're always going to be, you know, enclosed in that bubble that is Zimbabwe and not know what is happening outside. And this greatly impedes on our progress where technology is concerned. Because Zimbabweans, as much as we are hated in the world, we are quite innovative. I'll give you the guy who started the Mureza car company. We got Zimbabweans who are in Formula One. We got Zimbabweans who are in biotechnology in America. But they have to leave the country for that to happen. It shouldn't be like that. That causes a lot of brain drain in Zimbabwe because people simply do not have access to the internet. So Econet, I'm pleading to you right now as a content creator on Gloves Off, people that deal with online content, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all those other social media platforms, that you guys need to revise this or actually come up with a package or something like that that is a bit more reasonable. And the sad thing about it is they raised it by 100% now in our local currency. And they said later on, I think it will be in December, or is it November, they're going to raise it by another 50%. So we're crying now, they're going to raise it even more. That's just ridiculous. And in January, they are going to raise it by another 50%. That's 2024. So already we don't have much to look forward to where 2024 is concerned, because as content creators, data is going to be a nightmare. We're not going to be able to communicate freely with our loved ones the way we would like to communicate with them, because we cannot afford the data. I mean, just to give you more context, the typical government worker or teachers or something like that, they're paid something along the lines of $100 to $200 per month. And yet the tariffs now are 170 for 50 gigs of data. I'll just let that sink in. I'm just pleading with Econet here and the problem also is Econet does not have competition. We've got other service providers like Net1 and Telecel, and those guys are totally out of the conversation. They're not even trying anything to try and up the ante and be competitive, so that we as because wherever there's competition, where big gurus are concerned, we the customers are the ones who gain. Because if each and every service provider is providing the services that they're supposed to provide in top-notch condition at reasonable prices, we will go where the price is worth it. And Econet will be forced to drop their prices to match. Now, I'm going to take it even further. Starlink recently sent Portraz, our local governing office where, airwaves are concerned. They recently sent them a letter asking them, hey, we want to broadcast the Starlink satellite in Zimbabwe. And they're a bit mum about it. And I think it's unfair. Let Starlink get in so that these other service providers can wake up. We need content. We need social media. We need to know what's happening around the world. Why are we being locked down? Is Zimbabwe a dictatorship? I didn't think so, unless I'm behind, or maybe I'm just trying to be politically correct. But Portraz hasn't responded yet, and I'm pretty sure this letter was sent about a month and a half ago. I stand corrected. But yeah, these data charges are just ridiculous for the common Zimbabwean. Of course, there are people who can still afford it. Those are the people who, are involved with all sorts of illicit activities and the gold mafia and blah, blah, blah. But it's not fair for us, the average Zimbabwean, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, moving on to some rather sad news. For those of you that don't know, Matthew Perry. If you know Matthew Perry, aka Chandler Bing on the popular series Friends, is no more. He was found non-responsive in his house in a bathtub, so they're suspecting that he drowned. We don't know what the proper news is yet, but Chandler Bing, that fast-quipped character on Friends, he always had a response. He is no more. And from what I'm hearing on the grapevine, they were working on some sort of like Friends reunion, a movie or something like that. I don't think it's going to happen now since Chandler is no more. So, hey, it's really sad news. He was one of my favorites. He was like my favorite after Joey. So, rest in peace, Chandler. And our sincerest and deepest condolences to the friends and family of Chandler Bing on the sad passing of this iconic character. It's really sad news. Anyway, I'm not going to take too much of your time. As you can see, there's a lot of activity happening in the background, and I'm going to be going back to it. Like I said, Mr. Nivek couldn't make it for today's episode. He had laundry to do. If I didn't say clearly enough the first time, I'm saying it clearly now. Brown Willis, no relation to Bruce. And hey, how am I gonna end the show? I need to do it in a way that's similar to what Nivek usually does. Okay. Nivek up in this. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work because I'm not Nivek. Okay. So let's try that again. it's up in this bitch.